it's very rare you get a player like you that's willing to stand up. And I think it was watching you stand up after week 1 that made me feel differently about you.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know, because I'm gonna be honest, I watched you beef with like Josh Norman, and I was like, does this big mother effer only want to deal with like DBs? I was like, is he only like trying to fight dudes like he could beat up?
He's calling you a bully.
Hold up, limitless, niggas to me got pinning it. I fought to hear to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, niggas to me got pinning it. I fought to hear to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up.
Welcome back to The Pivot. Like I always say, man, where you start ain't where you finish, and the finish ain't always the end. I got my dog Channing, I got Freaky Freddy, and we got Taylor Lewan, man. And first off, Taylor, that's all I want to say, man. Much respect to you in showing up today.
Yeah, why is that?
Because it's a lot of people who...
Yeah, it's already hostile. I hate cutting them off, but it already feels like there's some tension.
That's what he wants to do,
I got my legs
Taylor.
crossed like this, dude. What man sits like this?
I cross my leg because you cross your legs.
Now you put that ankle up. This is masculine. I'm over here like this. He caught me a little, you know what I'm saying? He caught me slipping a little bit.
Bro, I'm 42. I can't get my leg over there. Like, that's the other part. And I for sure ain't wearing Nike socks with Vans. You feel me?
White Nike socks with
White
Vans.
Nike socks with Vans.
That's impressive.
No swag.
You're a big fella.
Yeah, desert rat, dude.
Loose hips.
No question.
That's pretty good.
Where you said though? Desert rat. Because like when you look at Michigan and then the Tennessee Titans, you don't think West Coast, you don't think Arizona. You know what I'm saying? And also too, I'm gonna be honest, straight up, like you super tough. I don't think tough when I think of West Coast like that or Arizona. You know, it's like South, you know.
I think, and I think as when we get into this conversation and all the topics we hit, we're gonna realize that generalizing things will kind of get you in trouble. Okay. So you can say, yeah, probably, if you look at the Pac-12, yeah, I agree. That's not tough football.
Right.
Big Ten, knock them around. SEC's got the speed. ACC's got the Clemson every once in a while.
Is that why you win Big Ten, though? Because you thought it was the physicality?
I went to the Big Ten. I went to Michigan for one reason and one reason only. It was because Jake Long. Okay. He was a first overall pick in 2008. And then I'm coming out of high school. I didn't play offensive line until my senior year.
What'd you play?
I played defensive tackle, and I was trash. Dude, I was water garbage. I stand up high, look around. I was just bigger than the dude, and then I'd ran and go try to make a tackle.
Right.
So I transferred high schools to Scottsdale, Chaparral High School.
Chaparral, so I've trained in Scottsdale. Like, I trained in Scottsdale my whole life. I trained my DBs out there. We actually trained at Chaparral.
Yeah,
so.
That's where everyone's going right now.
Like, constant dominant team in AZ.
Yeah, they love it, too. Like, they're like super confident program. Bunch of salty white dudes, just kind of getting after a bunch of privileged, like super rich white dudes, you know what I'm saying? And I went down there because there was this kid, this DN, who was like number 20 in the country. So all of these recruits were gonna come down and see him. So I thought, if I go change positions, maybe I'll have a chance just on height and size and stuff like that. End up getting like 20 offers and becoming an All-American off 2 game films. So I went to Michigan. I wore 77 because of Jake Long.
Right.
And so I go to Michigan, and that program, I mean, this year's the first year that it's actually showing something like what it used to be.
That's real, like, right.
Yeah, it's like a real program.
Jake Long got drafted to the Dolphins when I was there.
Yeah.
And the first time we did pass rush, I came off the edge and beat him. And I dropped underneath his tall-ass, long-ass arm, and I got to the quarterback, and everybody like, oh, he was first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Jake Long was already signed. The guys on the team knew we were drafting him.
Was that like
draft.
OTAs, or this was training camp?
This is the first day of camp. Like OTAs, you don't really, you know what I'm saying, you got pads on. The first day of pads, I beat Jake the first time and got him. Everybody was like, oh, first round pick. The next time, they had to say, Jake, let him go. Bro, he grabbed me and was mushing me into the ground.
Bro, he's really like
they were
that.
like, let him go. He used to run gassers with the defensive linebackers and DBs.
Yeah.
315 and had abs.
Right.
Jake Long was a physical monster. So just to now see, Taylor, how damn big you are.
And he lean though, like he not fat and nasty, right?
Yeah, because when you give him that dap,
sloppy bodies out there, bad body ballers. Jake won one of those dudes.
No, man, when I gave you the dap and hit that back, I was like, damn.
Yeah, we got some firmness here. We got some firmness.
Yeah.
I appreciate the gas.
Yeah,
that means a lot to me.
You look great.
I like where this is already headed. You haven't said anything yet, we'll get there, but I appreciate this. These 2 things right here are kind of nice.
Bust this
The crazy thing.
Let me get one. Let me get one.
Hold on.
The best hard seltzer
This is the
out.
off season for you.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah.
And it's gluten-free.
It's pineapple.
Hey, we trying to take care of you, bro.
I appreciate that.
We want you to be buzzed and rehydrated, also in shape. All at the same time.
I love it.
Because we hear your
Oh, and to go back to the Jake Long thing right now, I've heard that story. When I first got to Michigan, they told me, they're like, Jake used to run with like the middle group. So my whole career at Michigan, I ran with the middle group.
Dang.
Just as I want to be like Jake.
Yeah.
If people want to be like Mike, I was just trying to be like Jake.
So when you were recruited, did they pump Jake to you though? Did they talk about those things?
Because they knew.
Oh, what else did you think about going?
Like my old man, he went to Minnesota.
Okay.
I went there, but I was like, I don't feel like losing games all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then ASU was one, but I went to ASU on like a junior day thing, and I'm looking to my right, and there's so many beautiful women. And the guy who's with me is like, don't look right. And so I start looking left, and there's more beautiful women. And I'm like, and he's like,
So
don't
you
look.
went to Michigan because the girls was ugly?
Hey, listen, don't hate on. I have fans out there. Hold on, let me finish the story. So I'm looking left, and he's like, don't look left. And I'm like, what do you want me to do, man? I'm 17 years old, there's lots of testosterone running through here.
Right.
And he's like, just try to periff, because if you look one way or the other, you're gonna miss them all. And I knew right there, I was like, I'm trying to go to the league. I can't go to a place like this. This is unbelievable. Girls wearing bikinis in class.
Oh, no, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, straight up. So, my son goes to ASU.
Yes.
They did this whole thing. They started recruiting, like, in the South, because, like, they wanted the South speed, this and this. Mm-hmm. And so they had 6 Louisiana boys on the trip at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's June. So we driving, and we're on a golf cart, and I see the young lady, right? She's going to class, and I see that the Titans are pulled into a place that I'm not supposed to look.
Right.
Right? And so you already know, either your wife has to mention it or somebody else. So one of my son homeboys tells the lady in the front that's driving, hey, tell me where to sign right now.
Yeah.
Because if she going to class like that, I want to go to class every day. You know what I mean? So I already know it's a different vibe.
Large graduation rate. Everyone going to class all the time, man. People always going to class.
And so, like, coming out of Michigan, getting to Tennessee, and understanding, like, the kind of expectations you were under and where the team was, what was your thought in entering that first training camp?
That first training camp, I didn't know what was what. Like, I got to the league, I thought, oh, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
From the jump, right.
Because honestly, like, we're 11, like, we're the middle-of-the-road team. I'm sure they brought in free agents, but, like, when you get in as a rookie, you guys know, like, you just think, oh, I'm here. Like, we're about to be successful. Things are about to be great. When I look back on that roster, it's like, damn, we really had nobody.
Right.
Like, we had, like, Jarrell Casey and Jarrell Casey. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of dudes in my head off the comment. I'm like, yo, we had Jarrell Casey. And he was, and in my head, we will go 2-14 in November, and I'm like, the dude that's like, every game I'm thinking we're gonna win, and it's middle of November, we won 1 game. And dudes are walking around like, what are we doing for vacation? Who's going to Cabo? Who's going to Cancun? Like, where are we headed?
Right.
I'm like, yo, we got a whole half of the season left, it feels like. But dudes were, the culture was terrible.
Who drafted you? Who was the coach at the
Ken
time?
Wisenhunt drafted me.
Yep.
Ken Wisenhunt drafted me.
So, Ken was the offense coordinator when I first got to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I love Ken. He's a great dude.
Good dude, man.
And at one point we had, a left tackle, a quarterback, and a running back, all rookies starting. And it was like the first in NFL history or something like that. And Mettenberger, he was one of my best friends when we first got here. LSU guy. Yeah, LSU guy. And we
had Mettenberger, OBJ, and Jarvis at the same time.
Killer.
Yep.
And Jeremy Hill, your running back, was killer.
Yep.
Like, you guys should have won a national championship, it feels like.
We do a little cheating.
Yeah, no question. Dude, SEC, it's not even like in question anymore whether the SEC cheats
So
or
let me
not.
say this. You said I was quiet. I hadn't said anything.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting here in the cut, checking you out.
All right.
I hate the Titans.
You hate them?
Absolutely.
Jaguar. Tell us the backstory.
I can't really sympathize with the 2-14 season.
Yeah.
1999, my second year in the NFL, we lost to this one particular ball club 3 times.
Were y'all any good?
We lost in the AFC Championship. We went 14-2 in the regular season. We finished the season 15-3 after retiring Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson in blowout fashion, 62-7.
Damn.
The very next week, AFC Championship game, we lost to the Titans. Steve McNair, Eddie George, the rest is history pretty much.
Those studs.
15-3. The 3 games we lost were to the Tennessee Titans.
So wait.
So I don't sympathize.
Beat y'all that year, bro?
No one else beat us.
Bro, that's crazy.
We were so good.
Well, you weren't good enough to beat Tennessee.
You know how some teams is tendencies, scouting report. Some teams just have your number. At that particular point in time, Jeff Fisher, they had our numbers, and he would do little just to rub it in. You know what I'm saying? Just to stroke his ego and piss off Coach Coughlin.
Love Fisher.
Who later went on to win 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. It was just something about that matchup. Jeff Fisher, he had Coach Coughlin's number. And the Titans had our number then, and I hate to say it, they still got our number now.
First off, bro, everybody got the Jaguars number now.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
Everybody can dial that number. Hey, hey, Taylor, the Jaguars, the Village Bicycle, bro. We passed that number around, dog. Hey, Shannon, you want to hit old girl up? Like, hey, I'm telling you, dog, it ain't going to be hard.
She gone? Yeah, send the Jags my way. Yeah, send the Jags my way.
Send the Jags my way, dog.
Hey, that's got to hurt to hear that. These are your boys. What's that?
I've been here quiet, checking you out.
Yeah, yeah.
Should I do something to one of his knees to kind of...
Hey, I already had that last year. I don't need to go through that again. I already had a little piece.
I got something, because it's funny with linemen. When you get a first-round quarterback, you get a high-pick quarterback and all, like, they can change the franchise. A top line, running back, change the franchise.
Right.
To be a high-drafted lineman where you can do your damn job. You was a dog.
And y'all was getting your sorry as hell.
And you get your ass whooped. So think about, like, you grade out great and y'all losing by 30. Like, how is it like to be a lineman that people bring in and think you're supposed to change the franchise?
Correct him first. He said was.
Oh, you said was?
No.
That's a tough look, bub. But we're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good.
No, you're a dog now. Man,
no, well, I will say this year wasn't like the year I wanted to have.
Yeah.
So to say was is fair to say.
Hey, so I know when we get on this bus later, matter of fact, I ain't even let y'all know, like, we in the spot where we do Bussin' with the boys. I've already been here for 2.5 hours without Taylor. But when you start a season off, you know what I'm saying, and you face Chandler Jones, and Chandler Jones is in his bag. Like he in his John Jones bag. He punching Daniel Cormier in the face after a coke bender type of bag. And what I loved about you, bro, was you said it. This wasn't my day. Like, I got whipped.
You tweeted it.
Like how do you accept that, but also rebound from that and start doing your thing?
You have to be gracious when you win. You have to be gracious when you lose. And the same thing goes for this Bengals game. Do I think we could have beat them? No question. But it just was what it was. For me, when I play against a guy like Chandler Jones, like he's a stud.
No, he's a monster, bro.
Yeah, and I have all my insurance policies I need in my back pocket. I was coming off an ACL. I was 8 months out of surgery. Like, I played a horrible game. But
you accepted that, though. You didn't say any of those things post-game, though.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, no one cares. It's like, when you're growing up and you say, I'm going to be an NFL athlete, like, your parents will tell you, yeah, you got it, but no one really believes in you. Right. And there's people that want to see me fail, and there's people that, hope I do well, and they're like my family. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's on me. So, like, who am I to make excuses for what happened? Chandler Jones happened. The next week, I hyperextend my knee. I don't play in that game.
I'm about to ask about that, right?
That's tough. And the rest of the year, if you watch the film, it just gets better and better and better, because it's not about just hanging it up. As soon as you have one loss, you got to keep going. And I think that's a thing, like, for not just in the football world, but the regular world as well. Like, you can't just, if you don't get the promotion or you don't get what you want at this time, it's not because you weren't deserving or whatever. Right. It's you just got to keep working. Eventually, the things, if you do the right things, it'll come to you. Right. So I think I finished off the season strong, but I'm looking forward to the next time I play Chandler Jones, because he had the penthouse suite in my head that game.
Yeah, no doubt, dog. Well, wait, so when the game's going like that, like, how do you rebound from that, though? Yeah. Like, I know when you get burnt up in the secondary, you can't fix it, bro.
Like, that wasn't even the worst statistic game I've had. My second year in the league, I got burnt for like 2.5 sacks. I got like an epidural in my neck. I couldn't lift anything over my head on my left arm. And I was getting my arm swiped around edges. Whitney Merciless torched me, 2.5 sacks. So statistically, that wasn't my worst game. It wasn't just the statistics on the sacks with this. It was 2 sacks, a bunch of pressures, a bunch of hits. Like, I was out there, it was like watching a 5-star athlete playing against a 160-pound white kid.
Yeah, high school.
Like, yeah, high school shit. And it's like, you're kind of in it just like, yo, get me the f out of here. You know what I'm saying? In the game, I'm just like, yo, I gotta go in a hole. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's just real. That's just what it is. Like, you getting your ass beat like that. It's not the UFC where you can just I'm gonna get choked out real quick. You know what I'm saying?
And you can't stop playing.
No.
Right, because they gonna keep putting you out there, bro.
Exactly.
You don't whisper to Big D-Hen in the back and say, hey, Chip help over here? Like,
no. Listen,
Chip help. You know how you got drafted?
They pay me.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying? I have a job to do.
When this dude got his second contract, my dog had on an all-white suit. Yeah, right. The rest of the offensive line, went with my dog to the press conference.
My boys.
You don't get to do all that.
He's an
and
80s
ask for help.
baby.
He an alpha.
No, 90, 91.
91?
91.
Oh,
I'm only
sorry,
30
my
now.
bad.
I'm only 30.
Baby, man. He's a baby, bro.
I respect it. I know when you get to your old age like that, numbers just start looking like, you know what I'm saying?
Fred can't do no
Playing the
math now.
Jaguars.
Fred can't do no math now, but no.
That boy said he broke 100 down to 55-50. He told Marvin Lewis, you've been coaching for 40, 50 decades.
Yeah.
It's like 6 deaths.
You just said 4 days ago, you got knocked out of the playoffs as the #1 damn seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
Like, does it mess with you now? You riding over here, do you think about it? Ride home, do you think about it?
Yeah, I think about it. I've been thinking about it for 3 days straight. And the way we lost, too, is we had 9 sacks. We sacked Joe Burrow 9 times.
Right.
That dude couldn't pay for air. Like, we were destroying him. And, you know, as an offense, we need to equal that. Like, we can't operate the way we did. It was...
What do you think it was, though, T?
I don't know. Here's the issue is, like, everybody wants to be a keyboard warrior or a couch coach.
Right.
And as much as I'm a part of this team, I'm also just a left tackle.
Right.
Like, I understand concepts of plays, but I don't know coverages. I don't know what the route Julio or AJ or those guys are supposed to run. Like, you know, it's the best team sport in the world for a reason. Because you have to function with 11 guys.
Right.
You know, I can't just go out there and do it all myself. Derek can't go out there and do it all himself, no matter how good he is.
Right.
So, you know, I know people are mad at Tannehill. Like, that's kind of where everyone's starting to point the finger at Ryan Tannehill. But really, like, if you look at Tanny and what he did when he came in 2019 against the Denver Broncos. Changed the franchise.
I agree with that.
And I love Marcus Mariota like a brother. Like, that's my dude. Like, when he came in, like, I was like sworn to protect him. I love him, just like I did that with Tannehill, just like I did that with Mettenberger. Tannehill used to throw gutsy throws. And I don't know what he was supposed to throw, what he wasn't supposed to throw. You guys might have a better understanding of that. It's not my job to understand that. But I know that all these people that are mad at him at one time were praising him because of the risks he was taking at succeeding.
But do you also understand, though, Taylor, that coming into the season, here was the thought. You got a great left tackle. You have an offensive line that can run with anybody, which y'all proved. Right? Whether it was Hilliard, Foreman, right? Foreman, think about it. The 2 biggest runs in the game were Foreman this game. So y'all could run the football on anybody, and it was always that Adam Gase was Ryan's problem. And if he had all of these things, all the monstars, basically, Taylor, AJ, Julio, Derek, he's an MVP caliber player, right? And you're playing this team, and you just said it yourself. You sacked the other quarterback 9 times, bro.
Right.
And I pay attention to your show, right? And you were talking about the extra point.
Yeah.
1 yard. And I'm sure, because, you know, this is going to be a crossover, right? It's going to be the pivot on Bussin' with the boys. And I had a conversation about Derrick Henry. You had 2 chances to get 1 yard. And you have the biggest back in football.
The best back in football.
Opinions are opinions. And you can't get 1 yard.
Yeah.
How does that internalize to you, though? Because if you think he's the best back, I think y'all one of the best run-blocking O-lines in football. You actually had 3 times to get 1 yard, and you don't do it. How do you feel about that? Like, how does that affect you when you think about winning and losing games?
I think it's a fallback on the last comment I just had. I think when you have guys that are as talented as Derek, people think Derrick Henry is just running the football. With the extra point, people are mad about that. If you look at statistics and what you're supposed to do as a coach in that moment, you do that every single time.
Every single time. I agree with that.
Every single time.
I agree with that.
And
it's a great choice.
You get it or don't. You're looking at 1 point, we would have gone up, and everyone says, oh, we would have won. We would have been at 4 minutes at that point. It's like the butterfly effect. Like, if we get that 1 point,
something different.
They might have done something different. We might have run a different defensive call, so you can't just say that 1 point changes the game because something else could have happened because of that situation going the other way.
Right,
the butterfly effect, right? It's a great movie, Ashton Kutcher. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have. I'm a movie buff.
Yeah.
That Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher.
Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. I think he's married to Mila Kunis. That's my celebrity crush.
He got super little teeth, though, Taylor. Like,
ain't nothing wrong with little teeth.
Hey, Taylor,
ain't nothing wrong with little teeth.
I got little teeth.
We already talked about it.
My man over here looks like they're paid for a little bit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Why does everybody on the show
My man's like 40-something.
What is
things ain't supposed to be that light.
Those are veneers.
They're not veneers.
What's your dentist number? Where's my phone?
Hey, you took 12 caps and gave it to a dentist and said, do what you do best, Bob.
Hey, Taylor, you do realize only one of us has been on the bus.
Yeah.
Like, you coming at the one of us.
Because I'm most comfortable. You know, Fred's over here mean mugging me.
No, I'm not mean mugging.
I'm finding common ground over here. I'm still trying to find out where I lay in this totem pole.
I am always the grown-up on the set.
That's not true.
So I want to get back.
Actually.
No, I really want to get back to the history of playoffs is momentum.
Yeah.
You guys were the number 1 seed. You had a bye week.
Yeah.
Do you think any of that affected you guys?
No, I don't.
I know you were fresh.
Yeah.
But the speed of the game, the timing, Cincinnati's on fire. Like, their last 4 or 5 games, they've been ascending.
And too, bro, their quarterback, like you talked about him being sacked 9 times. He never had a reaction to it, though.
No, he's Joe Cool for a reason.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, like, he's a dude that I would chill with.
He's a dude,
sure.
though.
Yeah.
Right. I get that.
He really is. I think it depends how your team handles the bye week. Like, obviously, you could sit there and say we didn't handle it well. But if you guys came to practice all the days we did,
y'all worked.
Bro, we were working. The guys were running around the field. Vrabel has a good mindset. There's a reason why Vrabel is mentioned as a nominee for coach of the year.
He should be the coach of the year.
He really should.
I 100% believe he should be.
And I hate gassing the guy up. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't have to, though. Like, he deserves it, bro.
But he really deserves it.
Yeah.
He really deserves it. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday leading up to the game, I'm watching these practices, watching our defense fly around, watching our offense fly around. I'm like, oh, we're about to win this game by 30.
Right.
Because it just seemed like we just had it. You know, at some points in this game, they were running goal line defense in the middle of the field, 6-1 fronts, just to stop the run.
When that happened, was that the big plays to AJ or Awuzie? Did y'all adjust to those things and say, okay, we can't run the ball now?
As an offense, like, I'm not sitting there with the offensive coordinator and Tannehill and Keith Carter, who's our run coordinator. Like, I'm sitting there, like, getting ready to go out. I literally walk up the field and I say, hey, the best move is to run left. Like, literally what I tell Todd every single play.
Well, because you block that way.
Exactly. Just run left, we're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? That's literally Have you ever asked Todd, that's literally what I tell him? And Todd literally said, Taylor, shut the up at one play. In the game, as I Taylor shut, I was like, yeah, fair. No, definitely, I should probably shut up.
Charles Haley, he talked about dogs. So as a dog running...
He's a monster, bro.
But as a dog running back, you say, give me the rock. Best receivers, I know AJ and Julio and them be like, throw me the damn ball.
Yeah.
As an offensive lineman, you'll walk over to your coordinator and say, run behind me, mother.
Yeah, I do. I'm probably every game. Every single game I go up to Todd, even during the Arizona game. I'm like, hey, run left. Like, I'm still going to be able to do this for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My pass game was trash.
So now, Taylor, like, you sit back and you look at the season, do you feel like you guys wasted an opportunity? You know, because many people picked, I myself, at the beginning of the season, I said, if the Monstars are healthy, if the left tackle's healthy, Ryan Tannehill's an MVP candidate. That was my thought.
Right.
And I thought, this is an AFC championship team. Now, everybody knows the folks that play in Kansas City are different because the dude that quarterbacks for them.
He's different.
He's a different dude, right? But I felt like the pieces y'all had, especially with Jeffrey up front, Autry up front, right? Yeah. Christian Fulton coming along, Kevin Byard, to me, best middle of the field safety in football. Yeah, I was like, this team got it. And so now you look at it, what do you feel going forward you stack up in the AFC? Because what we saw Sunday night from Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes was something we ain't never seen.
It was unbelievable.
From 2 dudes on the same night, bro.
Right.
When you watching that, do you ever think, damn, I wish I had one of those?
I think we have it. I really do. And I know, like, that might be like a bias thing to say, or people think it might be a bias thing.
It is very biased. I mean, he does what he needs to do, but he's not one of those.
I mean, he's not who he was with Adam Gase.
He might not be a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but he's changed a franchise, and 100%. With Tannehill, we have the capability of winning a Super Bowl.
No, he's a good player. He's solid.
He's a great player. It's like saying, is Ryan Tannehill Tom Brady? It's like, well, no, he's not. He doesn't have the accolades. He
manages the team. That's what a quarterback is supposed to do.
And he does a great job at doing that.
Correct.
You know, like, people give Tannehill shit for the year, not just this game, because of a bunch of picks. Like, when we played the Patriots, there were 4 drafted dudes on our offensive line. Me, our left guard, our center, and our quarterback. Everybody else were undrafted cats.
On offense?
On offense.
Damn.
Because we had no Julio, AJ was out, Derek was out. Our tight end, I think, wasn't even drafted, and then our right guard was out, and then our right tackle was an undrafted cat too. Like, he's had to work through so much adversity. If I were to sit here and say Ryan's Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, the answer is probably not. You know, but does he have the capability of playing like that? I 100% believe that, because he's done it before. He's beaten Josh Allen. He's beaten Patrick Mahomes with the football. That's
just crazy.
Too.
That's true.
With the football.
Yeah.
It's not like we just ran it the whole game. Like, Ryan threw the football, got first downs, threw touchdowns. Like, he did it. Right. And so It just didn't go our way. Is it a missed opportunity? 31 teams had a missed opportunity for not winning the Super Bowl. Every single year,
bro. I don't believe 32 teams enter training camp with an opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
I do not believe that.
Yeah.
I believe the Tennessee Titans...
With the confidence, too, though.
Not even the confidence. I don't believe that 32 teams are capable. You guys should have been
14,
confident.
Even when I walked in 15, we went 3-13 the next year.
Right.
And 15, I'm like, yo, we're doing it this year.
Okay.
Like, this is it.
So you've been confident every year?
Yeah, every year you're confident about that.
You're absolutely
As you get to the
delusional.
middle of the year, you figure out where you are.
I always thought you was crazy.
Yeah.
You're literally, like, stupider than I thought. Because that's not true.
But it's not true.
You wanted to say that to him?
What are you going to do to me?
You're going to choke your little ass out.
That's true, I could.
And y'all not going to jump him?
Listen.
No, they ain't doing that. Maybe Fred.
You tested him.
Doing that.
You try his manhood. I gotta see who's a better man. You testing out this big son bitch.
So we gonna get to it.
Hey, my wife has the same outfit he's wearing.
Hey,
right now.
there was this one from Lulu. Hey, this one from Lulu. And you gonna stop disrespecting me.
Lululemon is his go-to to be a man.
You gonna stop disrespecting?
I think I bought that for my wife for Christmas.
Hey, check your wife's drawer, because he might have stolen it.
Here we go again. I got to get us back to where we need to be.
Why do you always do that? That was fun.
Just going really back to every year, you press and reset.
Yeah.
So as players, we trust that the front office is making the right moves to get us to where we need to be. You know, sometimes you look to your right or left and say, if we had this type of player or that, you're not gonna, call anybody out.
Right.
But, you have your opinions on what can help the team.
Yeah.
Transcend you to the next level, right? So when you press reset and it's the new season, you're in here, the optimism is there. You want to compete. Naturally, that's what you do.
Right.
But that's been in that chair. On the outside looking in, we can go, okay, this team, their salary cap, the players that they've released, the inconsistency in the organization, the front office, the coaching, we can look at that now as retired guys and say, they're not going to even have a chance in the world.
Yeah.
I know now the Jaguars, the past 4 years, they weren't going to win the AFC South. Mm-hmm. It was between Texans and you guys.
So when they had Blake, when they had Blake and Jalen and that defense, how did you feel about them then, though?
Those moves were great.
Okay, so the year.
You know what I'm saying? But after that,
so the year after they won the
they started dismantling the team.
The year they won the AFC
Championship, you can hear all of the conversation.
Did you think they would be back?
Naturally, yeah.
Okay.
But in that offseason, when they started making those moves,
right,
and releasing certain guys and started breaking the team up, I remember seeing that before as a player. You know, we came off of 12-4.
Are you talking about that? That's the '99 season you talking about? Or
no, not '99. 12-4 under Jack Del Rio.
Okay.
You know, we had a good playoff run, and then we come the next season, Marcus Stroud isn't there. We had issues with Mike Peterson.
Right.
And the defense, which was our stronghold, the offense was a little bit behind, but those guys pretty much led the way. And when you start tampering with that, you go, wow. But the defense saved us.
Right.
A lot of teams don't always have the best quarterbacks, but the defense, they'll buy you time. You know, Sexy Rexy in Chicago.
A team like Jacksonville in like 2016, those guys all across the board on their defense were studs. With Jalen, their front four, Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, those dudes were studs.
Yeah.
But when you started running the ball on them, when you started like scoring touchdowns, dudes started pointing fingers and yelling at each other.
Really?
You know what? For you as a player to peep that, it's big because I was on the sideline and I peeped that.
When you know you're facing a defense that's supposed to be those type of dudes, right, and you start kind of pounding them, and you see the bickering. What does that do for a left tackle and for a dog like you though?
It's like you know you got them. It's not, and it's not just me. Like it's as an offense. Like we see them. They're so worried about whose fault it is because at the end of the day, you're not thinking about what the next play is. You're thinking about what coach is going to say on Monday.
Right.
Like you're not thinking about, oh, hey, if I mess up this play, if we're being real, like, and you and I do something, and you're supposed to cover me up in some certain gap or something like that, and I do the wrong thing, and I'm pointing fingers at you, it's just because it's an insurance policy for my ego to feel better about myself. When you see dudes like arguing as an offense, you just want to take advantage of that because they're like, get me the f out of here eventually. And that's not Jacksonville.
All professional sports, any sports, when you see that, number one, that's a leadership issue.
Yeah.
That's an accountability issue. You have guys just, calling each other out. You're like, who's going to step up and say, we can't do that? At least not now.
Right.
Let's get in the big room and figure it out then. But on the field on Sunday, if we do that now, the other teams are looking and saying,
I think there's a level of who is a leader of the men. And when you look at who John Robinson's put in, and the only thing I can go off of is my own experiences.
That's what we are, bro.
3 different coaches, 2 different GMs. John has brought guys in that characteristically fit the mold of what we want to be as Tennessee Titans.
Like from a locker room standpoint?
From a locker room standpoint, like guys like Will Compton. You know?
That's my dog.
That's a locker room warrior, dude.
Nephew used to come to my house and eat all my damn orange chicken.
No question.
For PF Change.
Yeah, he'll come to my house and I'll buy him all the food and he won't even show me any money. Sometimes I gotta go pick him up. But he's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
He's my dog.
But
That's
I'm saying
here.
with Vrabel does such a good job of keeping us locked in and keeping us focused on what the grand scheme of things are the main goal, and that's winning week in and week out. And when you have leadership like that, that's when you don't find teams arguing with each other. It's keeping the accountability alive.
Right. So
Jacksonville, if they were to have, a new or whoever their new coach is,
Byron Leftwich.
if he goes in and installs that from day one, they can be a completely different team next year because they have talent.
Urban Meyer sure ain't do it.
So I have a question.
Yeah, I don't like
for
Urban.
that,
Yeah.
When you
When you think about like Vrabel, right? Vrabel is a guy who played in the league. He understands what it's like to be in those locker rooms. Byron Leftwich, obviously been the quarterback at Jacksonville, first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Do you feel there's a huge difference in a guy who has lived that life and can kind of relate to the players? Like when I hear Mike Vrabel talk, and obviously we were on an executive board together with the NFLPA, when I hear him talk, it feels like me, right?
He had to throw that in there. He always does.
I get it, dude. We all get off in some different ways.
Yeah, he's a damn snitch.
Did you bust?
No, but I don't know if y'all saw the article that said I should be a GM. Y'all missed that stuff too?
Nah.
Man, one motherfucker writes some papers and now we supposed to be like, oh, RC.
That's true. You could be a great GM,
Hey,
though. I don't know.
How long you play?
This is my 8th year.
Oh, here you go.
How long
hey,
you play?
He gonna pull some shit
How many Pro Bowls you make?
One. Only made one.
Oh, okay.
He's at 3 and he's a puppy.
How many rings
So
you got?
now you gonna move
Team
the goalpost.
Team
Now
sport.
it's rings.
Hey, so for you, bro, like you have a different perspective than we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at it from the outside in. Like I know who's good players, right? Like I can watch you and see a week like week 1 and be like, damn, I've seen Taylor do it so many other times. I get that week because I've had that week. But you're looking at Kansas City and the Cincinnati Bengals. Patrick Mahomes has nothing to prove. The Kansas City Chiefs have nothing to prove. The Cincinnati Bengals are like a Johnny-come-lately. Like this team drafted Joe Burrow first overall 2 years ago, and now they're in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
These are teams you faced, bro. When you look at these two teams, how do you see that matchup?
I think it'll become a shootout, kind of like
Like it was, because they played
the
this year.
Bills and the Chiefs. I think it'll be a high-scoring game because they have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball both ways.
Okay.
The Bengals are very new, up-and-coming, young, fresh team.
It's hard to believe in that, though, Taylor.
I get that. And the Chiefs, they have so much experience. They've been there before so many times. This is like, what, their 4th time in the AFC Championship in a row? In a row.
4 in a row, bro.
You're asking me to give like a prediction on what's going to happen?
The thing I want to know is, it's not about your prediction, it's about how you see it, right? Because it's two different things. Like, we can't predict what the hell is going to happen with grown men when you put them on the grass.
Right.
I've had people this week that I work with say the game won't even be close. That the Kansas City Chiefs will blow them out. It'll be much like the first half in Cincinnati.
I think when you get down to these final 4 teams, it doesn't matter like who's way better. It's just like they're all here for a reason. So do I think it's going to be close? I think it's going to be close. But I think Patrick Mahomes is getting to this point where he's kind of like Tom Brady in a sense where you just can't really bet against him right now. In those situations.
I agree with that, bro. Yeah.
Can't really bet against him in those situations. I think Cincinnati's a great football team. Their defense is good. Their offense is powerful. They can get the ball down the field in a hurry. They can score points in a hurry. So I think it's going to be a good game. But I think the experience of being there 4 years in a row,
it's different.
I would just guess, and this is me as a fan talking, not as like an NFL football player. Like, as a fan watching these two teams from a really close point of view, I would just think that.
Did y'all play Cincy this year or no?
No, we didn't play Cincy this year. Yeah, 2019 we played them. And that's a perfect example. The Baltimore Ravens, when we went, they were the 1 seed. We were the 7th seed or the 6th seed at the time.
Right.
They were, if you looked at a roster, a much better football team than us, and we just won. For whatever reason, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's NFL.
But y'all were up
on KC too, though.
Yeah, we were up on KC, but we played them in Week 10 that same year. They were up 10-0. We came back and won.
I remember that.
And then we went up 10-0 on them, and then they came back and won. That little run that Patrick Mahomes had with like, I don't know, 46 seconds left.
It was y'all. It was Houston.
Yeah.
It was Houston.
Patrick Mahomes and I had the same 40. We had the same 40 time, and this dude, it was unbelievable. It's unbelievable how you can run.
There's a reason why you're drafted where you're like, I've been effing with you, but I understand, like the hierarchy of like how this works. I was undrafted for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like these 13 years, I had to grind for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying like you ain't have to work, but when they looking at the film and they doing the measurables, that's like, this mother effer 6'6", he run 4'8". Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then like,
you brought up Jake Long. That's what he was. He was a physical monster.
But you're right. Like there is different types of adversity you have to go through from a first-round pick standpoint. Like there's a lot of pressure put on you to succeed
perform right away.
Yeah, as an undrafted guy, if you're neck and neck with somebody and they're drafted, you're not going to win that. You're not going to win that ever.
Right. And I think it's very rare you get a player like you that's willing to stand up. And I think it was watching you stand up after week 1 that made me feel differently about you.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know, because I'm going to be honest, I watched you beef with like Josh Norman, and I was like, does this big mother effer only want to deal with like DBs? I was like, is he only like trying to fight dudes like he could beat up?
He's calling you a bully.
You got to pick the right battle sometimes.
It's one thing to have to compete on Sundays, right? But the additional motivation. Everybody wants to kick the shit out of the badass or the person who thinks they're a badass.
Right.
Do you embrace that role? Like, do you expect to go in every single game every Sunday? You have to do your job, but knowing that you've given off this energy of being the badass, come get it. Like, do you embrace that, knowing that these other guys, they want to beat the out of you?
Yeah, I don't think it's just that. It's just not this whole badass routine. It's also all the antics, like being on Bussin with the boys, coming out in an all-white suit after you sign the biggest contract in NFL history type thing.
It's all of
that. It's all of it.
It's $91 million. They want a piece of that.
And also too, Taylor, like I was a dude, like I had an ESPN contract when I played. So I get that. You doing Bussin with the boys and it's fire, you know, like while you played. And you're basically like a dick.
Right. I would agree with most of that.
Like
I would use a different word than maybe an instigator.
Instigator, I'll take that.
Instigator.
So, and so like in that though, the thing that like I've enjoyed about your career and like not only like marveled at but appreciate it was like your ability to fight through injury.
Yeah.
So talk about like the worst pain you've been through and endured.
I'm not sure. I had dude, have you ever had turf toe?
No.
Twice.
Bro, that shit is awful. It's debilitating, dude.
I'm with you on that.
Dude, honestly, like it sounds so bitch to say, one of the worst pains I've ever had was Jacksonville, like week 4. And I had turf toe.
It sounds beat.
You gotta say it with bass, turf toe.
Listen, you hear my voice? That's like a 12-year-old. I ain't no bass in this voice, dude. I'm 6'7" with a 12-year-old voice. I got turf toe and it was an ouchie. You know what I'm saying? I was hurting.
Like, hey, you gotta do something with this whole dog.
Hey,
like,
that thing was swollen. They tried to tell me I had gout. I was like, bro, I do not have gout.
So what does turf toe feel like then, bro?
Dude, it just feels like there's needles and pain. That's like when the muscles around your joint get stretched and pulled and like slightly torn. It's just awful. It's like trying to walk or do anything is painful.
From Taylor to Taylor, y'all like that, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
In New England, I had turf toe week 2, practiced for a little bit. Week 4, I came back because I missed 2 games. Week 4, I got another turf toe. Listen, I heard Deion Sanders speak about turf toe. Like, can't be that serious.
So you can bring up Hall of Famers.
But Danian Tomlinson talked about
another Hall of
turf
Famer.
toe.
Okay.
I'm like, these guys, they can't be tough. Like, I'm going through, I ripped my groin off.
It's just a toe.
I thought it was the toughest thing I had gone through, ripping my groin off the bone in the middle of a game. But that f***ing turf toe, that's a whole, it's like, you know how you jam your...
Why are you so damn soft?
Bro, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy he's here to back me up on that.
Them Vans ain't hurt. They ain't help with no turf.
No, that's not hurting. He needs some damn Nikes. He needs some Jordans.
Some Jordans, bro. They're too expensive. These things, $60 right here.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
So he had turf toe. I almost died. So we're gonna just talk about like
this
pain.
dude's wearing so many hats
like
during this thing.
You know, Shannon. Like I actually lost the organs in like weight. You know what I'm saying? Like these. Yes. Like I was weight up. I went from 205 to 160.
Oh. Wow.
Like I feel like that what I endured. Did you do anything?
When Freddie asked the question, I thought about it. I already got it because I had 17 knee surgeries, 2 screws in both my feet.
That sounds tough. Will had that.
Reconstructed both my thumbs, shoulder surgeries, neck, everything. The most pain I've ever been through when I was running, when I was partying, and I got a rash.
That's tough.
We talked about crabs. I'm gonna continue to tell about my
crabs, correct?
situations. I had crabs one time, and I rolled peanut. You got to put peanut butter around it.
Right.
Only creamy, not crunchy.
I'm gonna have to tell Siri to write that a note. Hold on 1 second. I had a buddy who got crabs, but he shaved his pubes. The crabs went to his ass hair. How wild is that? And them little are nomads, dude. They'll go anywhere. They'll literally go anywhere. Them just bottom lice. You know what I'm saying? That's just wild.
Y'all better watch y'all beards.
Yeah.
They can crawl. They got claws.
Yeah, you got some chest hair, dude. That little. All I'm saying is there's an avenue.
Listen, so I got me a rash. It was extremely itchy.
Yeah.
So I got some of that cream from the pharmacy.
Yeah, like Preparation H.
Isn't that hemorrhoids?
I don't know, dude. I'm just trying to join you.
Preparation H.
I don't know. It's the only cream I can really think of right now. I'm just trying to be friends.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just trying to stay here. We're on this side of the table.
I fool with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So I got the cream, and the cream helped everything else but the scrotum.
Yeah.
Because the scrotum is sensitive meat.
Sure.
And the rash stayed. So everything around kind of healed with the cream.
Yeah.
And the rash stayed on the scrotum.
Tough.
So I thought, because I'm like, I already used the rash from the store, and I was like, what could kill anything?
Right.
Bleach.
Sure. Hey,
like
my mind wouldn't go there.
Household.
Yeah. If you need to get rid of something, go under the sink.
That is not true.
If you're in your house, like I can't get a polyoxaphane or something special. I'm in the house. I don't know what that is, but I just know I'm not a doctor, but I know if I'm in my house and something needs to be washed, it's bleach. So my decision, this is in college, I'm not, I'm young. So I got a red Solo cup. I remember it was a table about this size. And I put the Solo cup there and I poured bleach in it to the tippy top.
Yeah.
And then I teabagged the bleach cup. I dropped my scrotum in the bleach cup. And so y'all asked me the most pain I've ever been through.
Just asking.
Put a scrotum rash in a cup of bleach and f your toe turf, tough toe, whatever. Your little kidney, whatever happened to you, and your turf toe. Listen. Drop a scrotum rash in a cup of bleach and see how you feel.
That's tough, dude.
Bro,
I like to change mine. I didn't know we were doing regular stories. I thought this was a serious podcast. I was in the pivot one time like, these dudes we're trying to figure out some real shit out here. We're talking about this.
We just figured it out.
I'm in it. I'm 15 years old.
Oh, crap.
I'm looking at the Jergens. Things are about to go down, right?
Like the lotion.
I'm lighting the candles. It's about to go down. So just me, myself, and I, dude. Yeah.
Light a candle for you.
Yeah. I like a nice scent when I'm getting in the mood for me.
To make love to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Chandler,
right.
Hey, so Chandler, that's what I call him now. He's Chandler right now.
Yeah.
He likes to set a mood for himself.
You need to.
He says,
If you're not gonna love yourself, who is, right?
Straight up.
So the candles are lit. There's a nice fragrance in there. I'm a lavender guy myself. And I'm looking at this Jergens, but next to the Jergens is a bottle of it's called Cool Blue. It's an icy hot. And I think to myself, I have an epiphany. I'm about to change the masturbation game forever. I'm about to fuck up the world, dude. I'm about to become a billionaire.
Actually, you're about to F up your world.
Yeah, hey. I look at that, I've moved the Jergens to the left, and I said, your time is over. I look at this Cool Blue, I say, your time is now, boss. I grab it, I'm laying down, dude, on my back. And I got the laptop sitting there, I got the double chin going.
What you watching? What you watching?
Don't worry about what I'm watching. Don't worry about it. Things get a little weird in the search bar, you know what I'm saying? Not because I need it, I just want to know what's out there.
I was just trying to figure what your favorites were.
I grab the Cool Blue like this, dude. The top's here, because I know I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? So I grab it like this, and I just give it a nice squirt. Start putting it around there, massaging the whole thing up. And for about 15 to 20 seconds, I was like, you're a fucking genius. You're a fucking genius, bro. I'm about to be a virgin forever. It's not changing.
I never need a woman.
After that 15-second mark, dude, I'm sprinting through the house, trying to find water. My mom's in the house, dude. It don't matter anymore. We got an emergency. And I am in the sink. I'm putting, you know what I'm saying, white dude, that sink's hard to get to. You know what I'm saying? That thing, he's like stretching his best, but I'm like, you gotta get there, boss. I put that thing over there, finally get them all cleaned up, dude. It was like an hour and a half of pain.
Bro,
and now when I see Icy Hot, or I'm about to lather the knees up with the stop pain or whatever, I'm like, hey, you motherfuckers. I know where not to put you. as I'm lathering the caps, dude. I'm telling you, bro. I gotta fix myself after that. I'm all jumped up.
Hey, Taylor, you straight leg as a bit, right? You like, I'm gonna stay straight leg. I'm gonna be real.
Channing has a way of bringing the best out of our guests.
Dude.
We appreciate
I'm glad we went through that together just now.
We appreciate
Yours is for health,
story.
mine was for, health and mental health.
The message here today is watch out for the bleach.
Yeah.
And definitely watch out for the cool blue.
Yeah, the cool blue, icy hot, whatever it is. Whatever it is, kids. Stick to the jerkins.
Hey, about to put you on the
For
spot.
God's sakes.
Putting you on the spot, T.
Yeah.
Who's in the Super Bowl?
That was a quick transition. That was literally a pivot.
Right to it. It's a pivot.
That was a
No, it's a pivot. It's a pivot.
I'm glad.
Tell us what I do.
Who's playing? Rams and Niners. The Chiefs have been there before. They have just as much, if not more, talent, and they just are hot. They're hot right now. Everyone thought the dynasty was over, but I think the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The Niners love George Kittle. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in the game.
100%.
And their defensive line is stout.
Monster.
Fred Warner is a stud. I think they have a chance, but the Rams are like, with the acquisition of Von Miller.
Rams Chiefs?
I got to land this plane for all of us, right?
Yes.
So they got Odell, an acquisition from, they cut him and they picked him up. Their defensive line's just crazy. They got Aaron Donald, they got Von Miller, Floyd, who's a stud, who's an underrated stud. And also Andrew Whitworth is 40 years old and playing at an elite level at left tackle. Crazy. I love Andrew Whitworth.
LSU, I'm just saying.
So and I think the Rams are going to play the Chiefs.
I was expecting to get a great show with you, right? Like I came in here and I was like, look, I need Taylor. We discussed many different options to do a show in Tennessee because we were coming here.
Tennessee's a great place.
It's a great place. But to me, there was no better option than you. And all I want to say is, bro, you absolutely delivered.
Well, I appreciate that.
Man, so thank you. Looking forward to the pivot and the Bussin' with the Boys combo.
Yeah.
It seemed like when we started talking about it today, people were looking forward to it too. And man, I just want to say thank you. Best of luck, bro. And keep being you. Like you do it a different way. But maybe let's not pick on so many DBs.
Well, you know what? You didn't give me a chance to even say anything to that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm over here in kind of a limbo period.
Hey, guess what, though?
I'm in the cloud, of that question.
Hey, T, guess what?
What's that?
We'll have time on your show.
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
I told you he was going to be dope.
Hold up. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, can't pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.